So we have this repository. This is the Warewulf node images repository. It's alongside the main Warewulf Git repository, where we put up example node images. And so some of these for Rocky Linux, and we're working on a Debian one, and for SUSE Leap. Some of these we actually publish, where we build them as part of a continuous integration pipeline, and you can just import those directly into Warewulf without having to do anything. We don't do that for the GPU images for a couple of reasons. One is that it's a little bit more like you probably care what version of the GPU driver you're running. It needs to match your hardware and match your environment. So we don't want to make that decision for you. You're probably going to have to build it yourself anyway. But also, there's just licensing and redistribution things to keep in mind with the GPU drivers. But what we do is we keep a separate set of container images that are just examples in here that you can pull down and build yourself. So one of those is this Rocky Linux with the NVIDIA driver container. This is my preferred way to do a Warewulf image with an NVIDIA driver. So if you haven't used Warewulf before, it can do the same thing that Bright does if you just have a directory that's your image and you kind of shell into it and you make changes. But Warewulf also integrates support for the OCI, the Open Container Initiative ecosystem of tools. And so the recommended way to build a node image is to build a container definition file like this, and then you can build it with Podman or Docker or whatever you're using and import that container into Warewulf. And you're not running a container. There's no like performance penalty. It's a bare metal image, but we just build it with these tools. And there are a lot of benefits to that. So one of them is here is in this example, we can start from the base Warewulf Rocky Linux image that's elsewhere in this repository, and we build for you. You can start from that, and you don't have to redefine everything that's in that container image. You can just add the repositories for the Debian, Debian, add the repositories for the NVIDIA driver, and install like the helper tool. And then we have a little bit of example stuff here. This saved a bunch of people some time for getting the dynamic kernel module system to build the driver for all the kernels that are in your container. Because unlike a traditional, let's say Docker style microservice container, Warewulf containers have a kernel in them because they're going to run on hardware. So we have that kernel already coming from the base image, and then we install the driver and say, please build that driver for hopefully only one, but all of the kernels that you have here.